salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.
Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm your Texas Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters right here on RFD TV. Hey, today we have a unique and very uplifting story for you. Something really special happened this year on Earth. A pure white bison calf named Unchi was born at a ranch in the breathtaking Texas Hill Country. And I can tell you, to see that pure white calf in that green pasture at Wagon Springs Ranch, sticking close to his protective mom, that was a real sight. The Wagon Springs Ranch, under the care of Carl Chambers, who's a seasoned bison breeder with dual citizenship in the Cherokee Nation, has embarked on a remarkable journey over the past 3 years. Now, with a deep passion for Native American traditions, Carl has dedicated himself to reviving a powerful piece of Native American culture. A white buffalo calf holds great spiritual significance in numerous Native American communities like the Lakota, the Sioux, the Cherokee. Now, Carl applied traditional agriculture breeding techniques, breeding for traits as ranchers have done for centuries. Now, to his luck and surprise, Unchi was born from a lineage of blonde bison dam and a blonde bison bull. This calf may be even more extraordinary. It's an albino. While many light-colored calves tend to darken as they mature, a true albino animal keeps its snow-white color throughout its life. This genetic condition is unpredictable and cannot be deliberately bred for. Unchi might be considered a rare marvel of nature. Now, once on the brink of extinction, return of bison to our Great Plains is a remarkable feat, let alone a sacred white bison. Now, let's join Tammy Arnder in Burnett, Texas, to visit with Carl Chambers at the Wagon Springs Ranch. Unchi, which means snow in Cherokee, is just another way Texas agriculture matters.
From Longhorns to Angus to Beefmaster and Brahman, there's no doubt you can find the answer to the question, where's the beef, in Texas. An emerging beef market is bison. Here at Wagon Springs Ranch in Burnett, Carl Chambers transitioned from beef cattle to bison a few years ago. Why make the switch?
Better money. For me, it was better money. And we'd get better sales on the calves. But there are some people ranching bison out there. Maybe it's getting popular, we're not sure. I just kind of got into it, so about last 4 years.
Here on the 270-acre operation, the Chambers raise the bison to sell to breeders or exotic ranches. They also raise them for their meat.
Yeah, we sell them for meat and sell them to other breeders, absolutely, yeah. Oh. And we process one each year, so we do that. We used to process a steer each year, but now we do a bison each year, and we sell to other ranches that breed them.
After several seasons of breeding Blanco the bull to some cream or light-colored cows, the outcome was always the same until this past spring.
Every time he would calf, he would throw a lighter-colored bison. And so we had some blonde heifers or some cream heifers, and we bred them with him, and we thought, well, maybe we'll see what color we get. Well, they were all just a normal cream, and this one stood out to be like an ultra white. She was a first-time cow, her first calf, and we found her in the brush. I've been watching her the last few days, or when she was about to calf, and I looked in the brush and there was this big white spot, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I didn't know what it was, and then when she came out with it, I said, holy smokes, that is a white calf, yeah.
A white bison is extremely unusual. So what causes the not-so-common color?
Yeah, it's pretty rare. They say it's 1 in 10 million. I'm not sure. That's just where you read everywhere. But a lot of people have cream bison. It's pretty common now, and a lot of people say, oh, they crossed it with the Charolais a long time ago. But a lot of times when you get beefalo or something that's been crossed, you can really tell they have the different attributes. Now, I mean, I guess maybe 5 or 6 generations back, maybe there was something, but it's definitely, the cream is definitely getting more common. But this white that we have, it just don't happen.
Several Native American tribes, like the Sioux, Cherokee, Navajo, and Comanche, celebrate the birth of a white buffalo and say it's a sacred omen, indicating much better times are ahead.
We'll never sell her, and I think what we'd like to do is we have about 100 acres in the back that's fenced off, and I think we might try to start a separate herd with her and new bull and some new cows and see how that works. I don't know how that's going to work, because when you get multiple bulls on the property, it's when you start losing fences. So we'll just see how that goes.
So here on Wagon Springs Ranch, where there is a lot to celebrate, especially since it's also an event and wedding venue, giving couples the beautiful western backdrop, this extraordinary sight is another sign that their best days are ahead of them. In Burnet, I'm Tammy Arender for Texas Agriculture Matters.
Hey folks, today it's my pleasure to have Theda Pogue joining me. Now Theda is the Vice President of the Texas Bison Association. Theda, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, sir. It's a pleasure being here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe your Native American background.
Yes, sir. So, well, first of all, I'm a wife. Been married 23 years, 3 wonderful children. Wouldn't trade them for the world. But I am a Creek Indian. I also have Seminole Indian blood in me. My grandmother was a full-blooded Seminole. My grandfather was a full-blooded Creek. And then on my father's side, I also have Native American in me that way as well.
Wow.
But I don't actually claim that because I can't track it down and prove it. So I just say I'm half Native American and half whatever my daddy was.
Well, that's good. You know, congratulations on 23 years of marriage. My wife and I, we just celebrate our 47th anniversary.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait till we're there.
And since she's not here today, I like to tell everybody 43 of those were good years. Well, tell us a little bit about the Texas Bison Association.
Yes, sir. So the Texas Bison Association is celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. We're having a big celebration this fall in Talco, Texas. The Bison Association was actually started so that ranchers can have a way to mirror what Native Americans were doing in the way they were raising bisons, to establish a level of care, a level of certainty, and a level of mutual raising on different ranches and connecting the networking. And they started on a code of conduct that bison will never be interchanged with cattle DNA. It will strictly be bison all the time. And that is our code of conduct that we stand by to this day, that you will not cross bison with any kind of cattle DNA at all.
I like that. I like to keep keeping it pure. And the Texas Bison, so it's been around 30 years, so it's actually helped preserve the breed and kept it from going extinct.
Yes,
I mean, we
sir.
came real close at one time.
Oh, yes. A lot of that going into later on, Charles Goodnight, he is credited for a lot of that. Him and Mr. Anderson, I can't remember his first name. But
maybe even more his wife than him.
Yes.
She was the one that kept all the little babies alive.
well, she's the one that made him get up in the middle of the night and go get them.
So talk a little bit about, and we have some, but let's dive a little deeper in the historical significance of the American buffalo.
So, yes, sir. The southern herd, originally back in the late 1800s, bison were kind of sorted out themselves into a northern herd and a southern herd. The northern herd stayed mostly up by Montana, the Dakota areas, Wyoming, up in that area. And then the southern herd, it stayed down in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas area, even over into Missouri a little. And that's where they would roam, because a bison, as you know, can walk up to 10 miles a day. Oh, wow. They're grazers. They don't stay around in one spot like cattle. They're constantly roaming. And so with that being said, a gentleman by the name of Charles Goodnight. Him and his wife Mary, he called her Molly, but her name was Mary Ann. She had heard some bison calves bawling in the middle of the night. And she had known that their parents had been killed. The adults had all been killed because during this time frame of the late 1800s, the government had wanted to make the bison go extinct for several reasons. And so they had essentially poachers out there just shooting them for fun and then leaving them for dead. And Mr. Goodnight didn't like that. When he didn't like that, he went and saved these baby calves, brought them back to his place. Molly, his wife, Mary Ann, she had bottle fed these bison calves and saved them. And then he teamed up with another gentleman, Mr. Andrews, or Anderson, I can't remember his name now, and they had brought them back from extinction. Well, here's the cool thing about the importance of bison in Texas history. When those bison were rounded up in 1997 and getting ready to send to the Caprock Canyon State Park to be a part of the state herd for the state of Texas, they did a DNA test on them. And they found out that not only was there no cattle DNA in those bison at all, but they actually have a separate DNA makeup than all the bison in the rest of America. He saved a subspecies from going extinct, all by being a forethought rancher here in Texas.
That's fantastic. Thanks for catching us up on that. That's very, very interesting.
Yes.
Hey, folks, we're going to have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with Theda Pogue and we're going to learn a little bit more about the American bison. Welcome back, folks, to Texas Agriculture Matters. I'm your host, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. Now, let's continue our talk with the Vice President of the Texas Bison Association, Theda Pogue. Now, recently here in Texas, we had a white buffalo calf born.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that. How rare is that?
Well, believe it or not, nowadays it's not as rare as people think it is. Due to human interaction and trying to maintain and bring the bison back from extinction, they crossed it with cattle DNA. And there are some ranchers out there now today who will intentionally cross bison with Charolais cattle to get the white bison.
Yeah. The cows are kind of blonde looking, the ones I've seen.
Sir.
They call them blonde.
Yes.
They're not pure white. I mean, they kind of fade
believe it
out.
or not, when they're first born, they are pure white. But as they grow, the pigmentation in their hair changes it and it gets darker over time, and that's how you get the blonde adult bison. So
a true white bison, one in
10 million.
10 million. So that's pretty rare.
Sir. Yes, sir. That is pretty rare to have a true white bison, and a true white bison that will qualify for Native American culture and for Native American lineage and history. That is one that is born in the wild. It's not from a domesticated herd. It's not from a herd where a rancher has been intervening and trying to breed for that for years. It's one that it is in the wild. They can do genetic testing on it to prove there's no cattle DNA in it. And when it is born, it'll actually have black eyes, black nose, and black paws.
Oh, really? I thought it would have a pink nose like an albino.
So there's two different types of white bison, actually, or three if you want to be technical with it. You have the albino version where it has the pink all around it and the white feet, everything on it is white. That is a result in the lack of the pigmentation in their skin and everything, and that's how you get that. And when they have that, they're usually born with other deficiencies as well.
Right.
They have organ deficiencies, or
sometimes they don't live very long.
Correct. Yeah. And then you have another one which is found right now mostly in reptiles, how they get the albino reptiles. Right. They haven't ever found one in a vertebrate animal yet, but there is that type out there. And then you have the one that's born with the Charolais, and it's SILV, gene,
Yeah.
but it's pronounced silver gene. It's a Charolais silver gene. And that is where the bison have been crossed with cattle, and
Okay.
that's what a lot of ranchers nowadays are doing to try to
Yeah.
get that rare
Well,
white
of course.
bison.
Let's shift a little bit. Let's talk about the importance of the white bison to the Native American tribes and the history of that.
It
'Cause
is
it's very sacred.
Very sacred.
Very sacred.
It is very something that we hold close to our heart as Native Americans. It's something that we honor, we praise it. We will have special ceremonies. There will be a naming ceremony for that animal. There will be a song and dance and a praise ceremony for that animal, because as the old Lakota story goes, there was a medicine woman, a shaman, if you want to say. It was during the time of famine, during a time of shortage of food, when there was wars. It wasn't just wars against white men, it was wars against other tribes as well,
Right.
for battle over land control and over feed and who can kill what animals. The Lakota woman, she had told them, she said, there's going to be better times. When I come back, things will be better. But you have to make it better. You have to work not just for you, but work for 7 generations down from you, because y'all don't own this land. We don't. We don't own this land. I don't own my ranch land. It belongs to my grandchildren's grandchildren's children. It's for the next 7 generations. So I've always got to be working to make it better for them than how I found it.
That's perfect.
And as Native Americans, we truly believe everything is a circle of life. And so going back with this medicine woman, when she had left, she's walking away. She rolled over in the dirt 4 times. And those 4 times represented different things. And when she rolled over the first time, she rolled over and stood back up as a black bison. Rolled over the second time, and it was brown. Rolled over the third time, it was red. And when she rolled over the 4th time, it was white.
Wow.
And so she said, when I come back, like the second coming of Jesus, she will come back white and pure. And so that is the meaning that there's better times coming.
Perfect.
It's regeneration.
Yeah,
It is revigoration. It's, we've got this.
Yeah.
We can do this. There's hope. And so that's what it means for Native Americans.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for explaining that to us. And I want to wrap up by asking you, why do you think Texas agriculture matters?
Oh, geez, that's an hour-long conversation in itself.
We don't have that long.
It matters because we as ranchers and farmers, we got to start serving the people in our communities, the people that we live next to. We got to get rid of the food desert areas in our counties and ensuring that children in our counties have something to eat year-round, not just at schools. And so by getting more farmers and ranchers and agriculture into it, and not only that, Texas is a powerhouse in the agriculture community. Getting all that into it is going to be astronomical to be able to feed the people here of Texas and say we can feed our own and not have to rely on somebody else to import it for us. It was grown here, raised here, it's better for you, healthier for you.
Great answer. Theta, thanks for being with us
Oh,
today and
thank you,
educating us
sir.
on
Yes,
the
sir.
white buffalo. Now, let's take a look at another one of our great Go Texan partners. For over 20 years, the Texas Department of Agriculture's Go Texan program has helped promote products made right here in the Lone Star State. From boots to salsa, Go Texan members make the best stuff on earth. Now, friends, let's take a look at one of these fine Texas businesses and why they are Go Texan proud.
You're Texan every day.
259 Brantley's Bistro and Bar is a family-owned business. My husband, my son, and myself took on this venture. We've all been in the restaurant business our entire lives, some of us more than others. Combined, we probably have about 150 years in the restaurant business. So this is our life, this is our bread and butter, this is what we love to do, and we love to give people the opportunity to work with us and help us and make them successful as well. Our menu and our specialty items are varied. We really focus, one of the reasons that we are a Go Texan restaurant is that we really focus on having good quality local products. Everywhere, from meat to cheese to produce to wine to beer, everything. Our quail comes from Lockhart, our strawberries come from Poteet, our cheese comes from Dallas, our cabrito comes from Comanche. So we are definitely invested in Texas. We're all born and raised. I'm 5th generation, so it makes my son 6th generation. My grandson is 7. So, you know, I come from a ranching family, and it really means a lot to us to support not only local ranchers and farmers, but just growers and makers of, you know, just like any kind of product. And Go Texan has been a really great tool for us to help find these people. Plus, it gives us the opportunity to let our customers know how invested we are in the state of Texas. They are all my husband's recipes, and he would be out here today, but he's in the kitchen, which is a good place for him to be. It's something that he grew up with. He's not professionally trained or anything like that, but he has a recipe in his head, and he said, you need 3 to 5 ingredients, that's it. Make it simple, and it's delicious. I have so many people that tell me, like first timers, they're like going, oh my gosh, we've lived here for 5, 6, 7 years and we didn't know you were here. We've been open for 10 years. And when they find us, they're like going, oh my, I can't believe this. Especially here in the bar with all these pecan trees. It's just a lovely, relaxing place to be. You can hear the traffic out, you know, on Main Street, which is, you know, okay. But you're kind of transported into a simpler, slower paced time when you come to Brantley's Bistro. We have some great local bands. I've got some great people from Johnson City. I have some from San Antonio, some Kerrville, Bandera, all around, you know, in this little area. And just a lot of people from right here in Boerne. This is like, if you're not part of our family yet, you will be. Hi, I'm Bonnie Brantley, and I'm the owner of 259 Brantley's Bistro and Bar, and I am Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
Well, neighbors, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters. Hey, I hope you enjoyed learning more about this special white bison named Unchi. Unchi is a marvel of nature, but also of agriculture. His birth isn't just a spiritually significant, it's a testament to decades of efforts to restore the bison to the American West. This story reminds us all of the role of agriculture in making miracles happen. Texas agriculture isn't just about crops and livestock. It's about culture, history, and of course, our connection to the land. As always, I'd like to close by saying thanks to every Texas farmer and rancher who works from sunrise to sunset to help keep our rural heritage alive. Now finally, here's today's cowboy logic. You know, some people are a lot like skunks. They're best observed from a distance. Thank you. God bless. And remember, friends, Texas agriculture matters.
From the salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east, all across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State.
Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.